Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we are back again with a very interesting, very exciting rank 4 Scarlet Witch Sigil gameplay. And I was looking forward to recording this one so much because Scarlet Witch is such an awesome champion. She's super fun to play. She deals damage in a ton of different ways, gains a ton of power, spams special attacks, and by far the best addition to the Mystic class in 2020. So let's see how she first gets on with a couple of fights in Realm of Legends, and then we do have quite a bit of gameplay across the board. We did have quite a few clips sent in here, and let's see how we get on. So obviously initially you do want to ramp her up by throwing a couple of level 1s. As soon as you do, then opponents start gaining buffs, and with that, you can steal those buffs, and you gain your own buffs, and everybody is gaining buffs, and you start doing a ton of damage, because MD is a thing that's extremely helpful to this young lady. And here we can see that we have 2 poisons, 3 cold snaps, 3 incinerates, now a major degen. Degen only occurs when you kind of overheat, so to speak, your Scarlet Witch. But now we have 32k crit, another 32k crit, and a couple of 35k crits, and that Winter Soldier is an absolute toast. So 40 hit fight, 1 minute, 1 dead Winter Soldier. I love the fact that she has so many damage over time effects, and even if opponents are immune to one, like in case of, I don't know, Captain Marvel is immune to poison, you can still get through with your Cold Snap and Incinerate. And don't underestimate the abilities those debuffs themselves have, like poison, significantly reduce healing even further, even if you don't have the spell mastery. Then you have Cold Snap that prevents opponents from evading, which again is a piece of utility that, not too many Mystic champions have, and so on and so forth. Obviously, then there is even more to it in the wonderful, wonderful nullification ability. She has access to passive and active degen, and if she's awakened, she has access to ton of different debuffs as well. Now, obviously, controlling all of those debuffs and things like that is another issue. But in this fight, I do believe we're going to get to see the level 3 damage, and that's going to be quite exciting as well. I absolutely love that power gain she has on heavy attack also. So, at the moment, we have 3 Fury buffs and a Promise. So, 3 Furies and a Promise. And he's going for a level 3. So, that level 3 alone took down... How much damage was that? At level 3 in itself does, in this case, 106,000 damage. And see how there are 6 degen stacks? Check out how much damage. It's like 10,000 per tick, so it's 20,000 per second degen. And that degen alone is enough to finish out this fight. I think, I would say that's a great start. Let's move on to the Evil Hyperion. Once again, we have a showcase with this so-called Evil Hyperion. I don't know what that Hyperion did to all of you guys who are submitting the videos, but it does seem that he's getting some serious schlocking these days. So here we go, Evil Hyperion, and she is just blocking the level 1s, and by doing that, you can get rid of the power gains there. And again, you just parry that level 1, get rid of the power gain, get to your own level 2. Let's see how much damage. Well, none of that crit, unfortunately. She did not have any damage buffs, but still she inflicts 3 incinerates and a cold snap. At this point, Hyperion comes and again uses his level 1. She's gonna go for a level 1 of her own, and she will try it. Oh, you do need to be careful here from the bubble shield. So the next hit Hyperion tries to launch at you is going to be unblockable. He did seem to forget about that, but that's fine. Again, remove the power gain, and I do think that as soon as that Hyperion uses level 2, he's pretty much dead, because she has a level 3 ready, and whenever, typically in a regular fight, Scarlet Witch can survive to level 3, the fight's pretty much over. She has 4 degens, taking 7,000 per tick, and yeah, that Hype is pretty much dead. That is one of the most potent level 3s that we have in game, especially if some buffs are involved. But even without that, that degen is just ridiculously strong. So this is 7.44 Fervor. I forgot which was Fervor lane, to be honest. Oh, you need to have at least 10 Fervor charges when you use a special attack. And if you're far from opponent, your Fervor charges are falling off. But it also has Matador. So let's see how she does with this. She does have 10 passive Furies here. Wonderful. Bait out level 1. Make sure you get enough Fervor charges. This would not necessarily be the lane that I immediately kind of think of using Scarlet Witch on for, because typically you do want to kind of just spam special attacks with her non-stop. And, you know, first of all, Matador kind of prevents you from gaining as much power as you normally would. Second of all, you also want to get in like at least, you know, 10 basic attacks in between activations of your special attacks. But on the bright side, that level 2 was quite sexy. On the bright side, that was quite a sexy level 2. In between, again, Poison, Incinerate, and Cold Snap. You know, even if Hulk Booster does trigger his regen, that regen would be virtually non-existent. He did take some block damage though. Now, let's see how he does against Airwalker. Again, that Fervor. This is very interesting usage again of a champion that I would not necessarily think of bringing in Scarlet Witch here. But you get rid of the Airwalker's power cosmic buff, so that means he doesn't gain power passively. On top of that, I do think Airwalker has reduced power gain by combat, so that's quite useful. Here we go. He nullifies that prowess. Wonderful. He needs to get out, and nope, he's just gonna go for a level 1. Fair enough. And now he probably wants to bait out another level 2, or another 2 level 2s and get a level 2 of his own in. There we go. So we can see that Airwalker has 2 prowess buffs that are permanent. Nullified power cosmic, that's fine. Needs to get in a parry. Wonderful. And that block damage is quite serious. And Airwalker does quite serious block damage. It's fine. And will he now he finally gets to munch on some of those prowesses. And but the new buffs keep triggering, but still. So Airwalker has a prowess. Scarlet Witch has 3 prowess now at this point. And this level 3 is going to be way overkill. There's just no way. That level 3 did way more damage than it was needed. Level 3 was way overkill. That level 3 was 286. That was some bullshit levels of level 3. 286k level 3 damage. It was definitely overkill. Superiority 741. Let's see what we do here against Silver Surfer. Right? What was this lane again exactly? Oh, this was the Power Shield 2.0, was it? Oh no, I'm not entirely sure. He also does not seem to be running high level of Mystic Dispersion. It does seem to be like MD. Oh, this is a node where you do have to get hit in the block in order to gain power. I remember this lane. So you do want to get hit in the block to gain power, or trigger MD, obviously. But it does have Power Shield no doubt. So you do want to bait out special attacks from the opponents. Wonderful. You now count on the opponent also in this fight reduces their combat power rate, which is maybe not exactly what you want half of the time. But even with no buffs here, with that combat, with that Power Shield, obviously level 2 did plenty of damage. Obviously, we also need to take in consideration that this is Silver Surfer, so Cold Snap and Incinerate do absolutely no damage to the guy. And yeah, so this is like one of the very few situations where it might not be the best thing that you apply Cold Snap and Incinerate at the same time, because that can let Silver Surfer do way more damage. But he still finished on 100%, very straightforward fight. Let's see how he does against Guardian. And the good thing about Guardian here, obviously, is not only that she has access to Unblockable, but also that she can very easily nullify that armor up buff. I believe take it for herself as well, yes. And without that armor up buff, Guardian can't auto-block the special attack. So she has not 1 but 2 ways how to get around that pesky ability. And then on top of it, you can always just build up to level 3 and, you know, get to that big degeneration and nuke down your opponents that way. So he uses heavy attack here to trigger the power gain. Power gain still does its job very well. You do want to bait out that level 1, ideally, in order to get a bunch more power. And now, at the same time, you do nullify that level, also, sorry, that armor break, and this should do quite decent damage. And without armor break, all of his resistances are gone, so he's going to be taking full damage of all of those energy damage over time effects, and this level 2 again is majorly overkill in this situation. Right. Scarlet Witch is always absolutely exciting to watch, just because you don't ever really know what's going to happen. You have a quite good idea of what's going to happen, but you never really know what's going to happen, because it all depends on which buffs, which debuffs you proc, and how many of those hits crit, and so on and so forth. So every fight is quite exciting. At least that's how I feel when I play Scarlet Witch. Obviously, you do have a generic idea that, yes, ideally, I'm going to get a ton of buffs, I'm going to nullify opponents' buffs, steal them, and, you know, do a ton of damage, but Scarlet Witch is one of those champions where it's virtually impossible, in most cases, to see exactly how that fight is going to go. You have idea what you want to do in the fight, but obviously there's so much RNG involved, left, right, and center, that you can't possibly predict exactly what's going to happen. So the auto block's baited out. Unfortunately, he only has like one... No, he actually didn't have any, you know, furies or prowesses here. So that can be a bit, you know, underwhelming sometimes to drop a big level 2 without it being big. Because you don't have fury, you don't have prowess, and obviously that prowess is also very, very potent. I need to add that prowess isn't like 10% measly prowess. It actually is, you know, quite a meaningful increase in damage. So here, nullify that unblockable, perfect, just in time as well. Dodge that level 1. So is he gonna go for special attack here? Nope, he missed the parry though. That's fine. Nova is at 3 bars of power, laying into her. And what will he do? How will he finish this fight? He's just gonna shoot a special attack through the block and still finish the fight even through the block. Now, Howard the Duck should be a quite interesting fight, because every time you're gonna parry, Howard the Duck is gonna gain furies. So that means that he's always gonna have buffs that you can steal, and that means you get your own, you know, because Howard the Duck's furies are fairly small, but Scarlet Witch's furies are significantly more potent. At the moment you nullify a fury, you might nullify a very small fury, but you do gain a fairly major one for yourself. And here we can see that even at level 1 was like 60k at the moment. Now he's gonna... Oh yeah, this should be fun. And this level 3 should be insane. This level 3 should be insane. Oh no, it's only 2 degens. Never mind, but it's still ticking down like 9k per tick or something. So that's absolutely wonderful. It's like nearly 9k per tick, and that Howard is pretty much dead there at 20%. Wonderful. And this is a major level 2 as well. Way overkill. Right, we have 7.42 power shield. I have also a shameful confession to make. My own Scarlet Witch at the moment is still at rank 2. She is definitely on the rank up list, but when it comes to my Mystic resources being allocated, I've been largely focusing on the Mystic defenders for battlegrounds. And I know that she can be an annoying defender on battlegrounds as well, but my Mystic catalyst went to Man-Thing and Sasquatch and stuff like that. I definitely do want to rank up my Scarlet Witch. I actually did awaken her not too long ago as well, so I did purchase the second copy from the Sigil store, and I have her awakened at Sig 20 at the moment. But she's still at rank 2 though. But this should be some brutal lanes. This should be some brutal showcase, because obviously... Oh, that's just so bad. Those first 2 hits was already 380k damage. Never you mind all the damage that would have come from damage over time effects and finishing that. Man, this lane is gonna be brutal for her. Okay, so here he goes against Magneto. Let's see how she does against Magneto. But here, she gains extra prowess because of Arcane Zeal. There's Power Shield 2.0, which obviously, again, makes special attacks do way more damage. And yeah, it could be interesting. The only downside is obviously that Magneto is kind of inherently a champion that doesn't really gain many buffs by himself. But that's why Scarlet Witch is so awesome, because she brings her own buffs to the party. And fortunately, there are a couple of hits to the face, but you know, nothing she can't survive. So she has cruelty buff here. You do want to nullify the buffs that the Magneto gains, but if there are no buffs to nullify, then it can be quite annoying. Okay, so parry that. Sometimes the parry just does not want to happen. Okay, here we go. Nullify that. Parry. Very good level 2 evade. I know that Magneto level 2 can be quite scary for some people. But now we don't see quite the major damage we did before, but still not a bad level 2. Come on. Again, another parry, get that cruelty, and now just hope for a crit. 4 prowesses, come on, a big number, pretty please. Oh, these are only 43k something. This fight, the RNGs, this is not quite as much into our favor when it comes to crit RNG and everything else. But still not bad. 43k crit on level 1, another 43k crit, and obviously all the damage over time effects will finish out that fight meanwhile. So this was not the prettiest fight though. Cersei, however, Cersei does seem fun. Cersei does seem a fun champion to mess with, without a doubt. And let's see how she gets on with that fight. So ideally you do want to trigger that glancing, and then those regions start expiring, they start feeding your Mystic Dispersion, and maybe you, I don't know, maybe you didn't need to use it level 1, but fair enough, he goes for the level 1. There's 3 charges there already, 3 prowesses. You can see those level 1s are absolutely overwhelming already at this point. 120 plus K on that crit on the level 1. Sweet. Again, the regeneration buffs expiring are just giving you more and more power. She's glancing there, but you know, that's not the biggest deal. There's 6 charges here though. And 174k crit. That's already way overkill. Right. 7.46 buff synthesis. Which fight is this going to be? I've been going for a while already, haven't I? But I'm genuinely absolutely enjoying, you know, major Scarlet Witch gameplay with these numbers. And then I can only imagine how good it would be to try her with Liquid Courage Double Edge. Now, she is extremely Liquid Courage Double Edge unfriendly champion. But I'm just thinking numbers-wise, how fun it would be to try it out. So anyways, I actually remember this buff synthesis lane, and it was super annoying because it has like that ebb and flow knockdown, so that protection is going to be quite annoying. And it was just a frustratingly annoying lane. And also, obviously, opponents go unstoppable all the time unless you get like a ton of prowess. So it wasn't the most enjoyable path, at the very least for me. But I have a feeling that Scarlet Witch is going to do just fine here. King Groot was my MVP for this lane. King Groot was my MVP for this lane because he could gain Furies like nobody's business, and then he could synthesize those Furies into prowesses, and, you know, it worked out quite well. Here we have the rare 777 jackpot moment when opponent gains all of the buffs in existence. But also because of that, this level 3 should be putting in quite decent work. Now, protection is still active, but even with that protection, it's doing like 4,800 per tick. That's a major amount of damage considering that, again, protection is active. Without protection, it was 12,000 per tick, I believe. And yeah, now the fight's over against the Silver Centurion. Let's go to the next one, Nightcrawler. Fairly dangerous opponent with a tricky evade. Definitely can be frustrating to go up against a Nightcrawler. And let's see how he gets along. I've been absolutely loving this showcase so far, though I must admit. Definitely saw some lanes and fights that I didn't think that I would, which is awesome. And here, perfect. You get to switch on the Nightcrawler, so now you don't need to worry about the evade. It's just the Unstoppable. But still, again, Unstoppable is more than enough in itself to cause you plenty of problems. Goes for another level 1. Sweet. Gets that ebb and flow knockdown charge. So for a while you can actually do regular damage. But here he gains one of the permanent prowesses due to buff synthesis. Now unfortunately there that Unstoppable kind of kicked in just a split second too early. And that meant that you did not get to knock him down. And now still in the fight, very much so. Just take those hits in a block very well. Drop a heavy attack to get some power gain. Go for level 2. But unfortunately, again, the ebb and flow protection is going to return. But seems that it worked out pretty much fine though. And that's a juicy level 1 there, without doubt. 4 prowesses. Still, that Unstoppable can be very frustrating, as we can see here. And I think he's going for another level 2. I was going to say, I think he probably should go for level 3 to finish it off, but level 2 pretty much finishes it off as well. And again, that Unstoppable does activate, but it didn't matter this time. That Nightcrawler took that straight to the face. Now, Explosive Personality and Parry Explosion. So this should be quite a decent fight, even though I do think that here was a node that kind of prevented you from wanting to use Mystic Champions, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mixing up some lanes. But there was some sort of Mystic Ward where there is a period of time where you cannot nullify the buffs on opponent or something of the sort. But, yeah, here we go. Nullify immunity has triggered. And that is, you know, annoying. But nonetheless. So, what's going to be the game plan? He needs to hit the block to get rid of those charges. And now you need to get rid of the... that unblockable. That unblockable is the main thing why a lot of people are afraid to play Scarlet Witch. Because situations like that do happen, and they will happen, and, you know, they can be unfortunate, but there's, you know, not much else to it. They can be unfortunate, and they are when opponent goes unblockable in an unexpected moment. But at the same time, sometimes it does save you as well. So now let's see how the level 3 is going to work in this fight. That is what, 12k damage per tick on those degens. And that's pretty much all she wrote. 12k per tick, not too bad. Again, huge thank you to Era for sending in the Rank War Scarlet Witch footage. I've been absolutely loving this showcase. We have a few more fights here before we finish, but I just wanted to make sure that I do not forget to say my thanks, because I do appreciate every single one of you sending in these clips and sharing, you know, some awesome, amazing, fun gameplay with everybody in the community. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who appreciates that. Here we have Hyperion doing Hyperion things, enjoying that nullify immunity for a while as well, which, you know, is perfectly fine. He can enjoy whatever he can. Now, here we saw an actually kind of like a very neat piece of utility when that Petrify does trigger fairly frequently against Hyperion, and it does indeed, you know, help to mitigate that power gain as well. It is not the most reliable mitigation of opponent's power gain, but it definitely can be quite helpful at times when your Petrify does proc whilst the opponent is under effect of power gain, and they do not gain nearly, you know, as much power as they normally would. And here at this point, he does have... Is he going to go for level 3? That level 3 is overkill. Come on, the Hyperion's already at 15%. And Hyperion's already at 15%. Why do you want to do him like that? He actually managed to get in another lick there. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this showcase. I know I did. It's been an absolute blast watching Rank 4 6-star Scarlet Witch in action. And let me know what you guys thought about today's video. And I will check you... Well, I will catch you guys later, is what I meant to say. See ya.